The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy, from the Chapter 2 of this best-selling book. Today I am going to share with you some eye-opening insights about how your mind works. Picture this. A skilled hypnotist tells one of their subjects that they're Napoleon Bonaparte or even a fluffy cat or a goofy dog. And guess what? The subject acts the part with unbelievable precision. Their whole personality transforms for a while. They genuinely believe they're whatever the hypnotist says they are. Have you ever wondered how this hypnotization works? Well, psychologists and psychiatrists have done tons of experiments on folks who can be hypnotized, and it turns out that their subconscious mind accepts anything much more easily, even if it's completely false. And once it accepts a suggestion, it goes along with it without question. This simple example clearly demonstrates the difference between your conscious, logical mind and your subconscious mind. The subconscious is like an impersonal sponge that soaks up anything your conscious mind believes to be true. The thing is, your subconscious mind can't reason like your conscious mind. It can't argue or question the information it's given. If you feed it wrong info, it'll swallow it whole. And then it'll work its full power to make that info a reality. It'll bring about the suggestions, even the false ones, as actual conditions, experiences, and events. So basically, your conscious mind is like the gatekeeper. One of its crucial roles is to shield your subconscious mind from false ideas. This is super important because the subconscious is highly sensitive to suggestion. Now, what is a suggestion? According to the dictionary, a suggestion is when you put something in someone's mind. It's the mental process where the suggested thought or idea is entertained, accepted, or put into action. But remember, a suggestion can't force itself on the subconscious mind if the conscious mind rejects it. Your conscious mind has the power to say no to suggestions. Let's say you're on a rocking ship and you see a nervous-looking passenger. You go up to them and say, "Hey, you look really sick. Your face is turning green. I bet you're about to puke." The passenger goes pale. The suggestion you just planted about seasickness taps into their fears and worries. She let you guide her below deck, and guess what? Your negative suggestions, which she bought into, becomes true. Now, imagine instead of choosing a fellow passenger, you go up to a crew member. You say, "Hey buddy, you don't look so well. I think you're about to get seasick." Depending on the crew member's temperament, he either laughs at your lame joke or tells you to buzz off. Your suggestion has no power over him, because the idea of seasickness is linked in his mind to being immune to it. So, instead of fear or concern, it triggers self-confidence in him. So, the negative suggestion held no sway over him. However, the fellow passenger was already anxious about getting sick. That's why your suggestion had power over her. All of us have our own inner fears, beliefs, and opinions. These assumptions govern our lives. A suggestion alone is powerless. Its power only comes into play when you mentally accept it. That's when your subconscious kicks in and starts acting based on the suggestion's nature. This is called autosuggestion, and it is like any tool. If you misuse it, it can cause harm. But if you use it properly, it can be incredibly helpful. Let me tell you about Janet, a talented young singer. She got invited to audition for a major role in an Oprah production she desperately wanted to try out, but she was also incredibly anxious. In the past, she had failed miserably 3 times when singing for directors. Why? Because she feared failure. Despite her amazing voice, she kept telling herself, "When it's time for me to sing, I'll sound terrible. I'll never get the role. They won't like me. They'll wonder why I even bothered trying. I'll go, but it'll be a disaster." Her subconscious mind took these negative self-suggestions as commands. It proceeded to manifest them and make them a reality. Her fears turned into emotions and subjective thoughts that ultimately shaped her experience. But this young singer managed to overcome the power of negative suggestions. She did it by countering them with positive autosuggestions. Here's what she did. 3 times a day, she went to a quiet room alone. She sat comfortably in an armchair, relaxed her body, and closed her eyes. She tried her best to quiet her mind and body, because physical stillness helps the mind be more receptive to suggestions. To combat the fear suggestion, she repeated to herself, "I sing beautifully. I am poised, calm, confident, and serene." Each time, she said this statement slowly, softly, and with genuine feeling around 5 to 10 times. She had 3 such sessions during the day, and one right before bed. After just 1 week, she was completely poised and confident. When the big day arrived, she gave an outstanding audition and landed the role. Think about it. Every day, when you pick up the paper or turn on the news, you hear countless stories that could plant seeds of despair, fear, worry, anxiety, and impending doom. If you accept and internalize them, these fearful thoughts can drain your zest for life. But once you realize that you don't have to accept them, new choices open up. You have the power within you to counteract all these destructive ideas by giving your subconscious mind constructive suggestions. So, always keep an eye on the negative suggestions people throw your way. You don't have to be a slave to harmful external suggestions. We've all dealt with them in our childhood, teenage years, and adulthood. If you reflect on the past, you'll easily recall how parents, friends, relatives, teachers, and colleagues contributed to a barrage of negative suggestions. Pay close attention to what was said to you, analyze their hidden meaning, and you'll discover that many were just a form of mind manipulation. The underlying goal was, and still is, to control you by instilling fear. This external suggestion game happens everywhere, at home, in the workplace, at the factory, and in social gatherings. You'll notice that many suggestions people make, whether consciously or not, are aimed at making you think, feel, and act the way they want, even if it harms you. But here's the kicker. Other people's suggestions have zero power over you. Any power they seem to have is only because you give it to them through your own thoughts. You have to mentally agree. You have to entertain and accept the thought. And that's when it becomes your own thought, and your subconscious mind works to turn it into your reality. Remember, you have the capacity to choose. Choose life, choose love, choose health. This eye-opening insight came to my attention through the book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. If you're eager to delve deeper into this topic, I highly recommend purchasing the book by clicking on the link provided in the description below. But if you're not a fan of reading books, but still desire to gain insight from the best-selling personal development books, our channel offers an alternative. By subscribing to our channel, you'll have access to chapter-wise, comprehensive book summaries that delve into the smart ideas presented in those books. Thanks for watching. More wisdom, more solution, better life.